Welcome to the Riddles and Secrets of History channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new stories. The Threshold Between Worlds. Dear listeners, today we invite you on a special journey into the mysterious, magical, and at times inexplicable world of dreams. Yes. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, you will be listening to a story about sleep and dreams themselves. Quite fitting, wouldn't you agree? After all, what could be a better topic for sleep than sleep itself? My dears, close your eyes if you haven't already. Make yourselves comfortable. Allow yourselves to rest. Let's do a short breathing exercise to let go of the day's events and smoothly transition into a state of night. Take a slow breath in. Feel the air fill your chest, your abdomen, your body. Hold it and enjoy the air and oxygen that nourish you. Now, slowly exhale. Imagine that with this exhale, tension leaves you, and anxieties and thoughts dissolve. One more breath. Soft, deep, as if you were inhaling tranquility. And exhale. As if you are releasing everything superfluous. Sleep is a door. Every night, we step through it and disappear from the familiar world. We cease to be ourselves, become part of strange plots, transform into other people, we fly, we fear, we love, we remember things that never happened. Why do we dream? Why does the brain create entire films, paintings, whole lives in the darkness behind closed eyes? Dreams have intrigued humanity since ancient times. They were considered prophecies, messages from the gods, mirrors of the soul. Myths, religions, philosophy, and art have sought meaning in them for centuries. Today, science tries to explain dreams through neural activity, sleep phases, information processing, and even brain defragmentation. In this lecture, we will walk through all these layers, from the ancient Greek Morpheus to modern sleep laboratories, from myths to MRIs, from shamans to somnologists. But before we begin, one important thought, a recommendation from our editors, based on a scientific approach. Dreams are amazing, sometimes mesmerizing fantasies of the brain. But, according to the latest data, one should not attach too much importance to them or search for hidden messages. Excessive attention to dreams can detach one from reality, especially in sensitive people. Therefore, it's important to remember, sleep is a process of cleansing, not prophecy. Enjoy it, observe it, but don't take it too seriously. And now, we let go of the day and enter the twilight zone between wakefulness and sleep. We immerse ourselves in the lecture. Calmly, slowly, with interest. Welcome to the world of dreams. Chapter 1: Morpheus and the Gods of Sleep. Imagine a world that existed thousands of years ago. A world filled with ancient temples, the sound of Mediterranean waves, the rustle of olive leaves, and the flicker of night fires. People fall asleep, and the time for mysterious stories, magic, and peace begins. In this ancient world, night and dreams belonged to the gods. The ancient Greeks believed that every night, upon closing their eyes, a person embarked on an invisible journey. And leading them on this journey was the god Morpheus himself, the majestic lord of dreams. The name Morpheus literally means the shaper, the one who creates forms. He could take on any appearance, embody any human figure and character. It was Morpheus who came to the sleepers, creating images of their close ones and loved ones, painting familiar and unfamiliar worlds before their closed eyes. And although Morpheus was just one of 1,000 dreams born in the twilight kingdom of his father, the god of sleep Hypnos, it was Morpheus whom the Greeks considered the main guide into the world of night. Hypnos, Morpheus's father, held even greater power. He is the god of sleep itself, the state of rest, serenity, and oblivion. Hypnos was always depicted as a young man with wings attached to his temples, symbolizing the lightness and elusiveness of sleep. His gentle hand could plunge one into a deep, healing peace and protect a person from anxieties and fears. The Greeks revered Hypnos and even built temples to him, where people came for healing from insomnia or troubled thoughts. But there is an even more ancient and mysterious being, Nyx, the goddess of night. She is the mother of all nocturnal creatures, and her dark veils envelop the entire world, bringing silence and tranquility. It was Nyx who was the progenitress of Hypnos and his twin brother Thanatos, the god of death, which shows how closely the imagination of the ancient Greeks linked sleep and death. For them, sleep was like a temporary death, a journey to another, unknown world, after which the soul returned to the body. Similar figures existed not only among the Greeks. Among the ancient Romans, the god of sleep was called Somnus, and his power was also great. In a dream, a person could receive revelations and predictions, so the Romans treated dreams with great respect and attention, trying to decipher the messages coming from the night world. In distant Scandinavia, there were also their own night gods and spirits. The great Odin, the supreme god of the Scandinavian pantheon, often appeared to people in dreams to give advice or warn of danger. The Scandinavians believed that in a dream one could see one's future or communicate with the spirits of ancestors. In ancient Egypt, dreams were generally considered divine messages. The god Thoth, the lord of wisdom and knowledge, came to priests and pharaohs in dreams, giving instructions, knowledge, and prophecies. The Egyptians were certain that in a dream, the soul leaves the body and wanders in the worlds of spirits, gods, and the dead. In all these ancient cultures, dreams held a special place. It was not just rest, but a true spiritual event. People awaited dreams, hoping to receive answers to the most important questions of life. Tonight, as you fall asleep listening to our story, you too are embarking on a journey that our ancestors considered sacred and magical thousands of years ago. And although science now explains the nature of sleep through brain function and chemical processes in the body, the magic with which ancient people viewed the night world remains with us today. As you fall asleep now, you continue an ancient human tradition, entering the world of dreams, led by that same Morpheus who, perhaps even now, quietly and imperceptibly touches your consciousness, immersing it in soft, calming images. May your journey tonight be light, pleasant, and filled with peace. Morpheus is already near. His hands are ready to guide you deeper into a world full of images and reveries. Close your eyes. Feel how with each breath in and out, you trust more and more in the gentle waves of nightly peace, sinking into the tender darkness. Leave the day's worries behind and follow the ancient gods of sleep into a world where there is no fuss or anxiety. There is only rest and pleasant images being created for you right now. Chapter 2: The Dream as a Bridge to the Otherworld. Imagine how, thousands of years ago, long before the advent of modern sciences, humanity perceived nightly dreams. For ancient peoples, sleep was not simple rest. It was a journey of the soul, a bridge connecting the world of the living with the otherworldly space. In almost all ancient cultures of the earth, there was a belief that in a dream, the human soul separates from the body and wanders in other dimensions. People believed that in their dreams they could meet spirits, gods, ancestors, and even see their future. It was a door to a world of mystical knowledge, sacred revelations, and communication with higher powers. In ancient Egypt, dreams were given special significance. The Egyptians believed that in a dream, the soul traveled through the kingdom of Osiris, the lord of the underworld. There was even a special practice: people would come to a temple, lie down to sleep in sacred chambers, and wait to see gods in their dreams who could provide answers to important questions or heal diseases. Priests carefully recorded and interpreted the dreams of the pharaohs, believing that through them, the gods sent messages and advice to the rulers. A well-known story is how the famous Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose foresaw the Sphinx in a dream, who asked him to clear it of sand. This was seen as a divine sign, and the young pharaoh fulfilled the Sphinx's request, which strengthened his power. No less profound was the attitude towards dreams in the culture of Mesopotamia, the cradle of the most ancient civilizations of the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The Sumerians believed that in a dream, a person meets the spirits of deceased ancestors, and the gods send people warnings and predictions. The Babylonians went further and created one of history's first books on dream interpretation, which described symbols and their meanings. For example, seeing a river in a dream meant imminent prosperity, while the appearance of a snake could portend danger or intrigue. In ancient India, dreams were considered a manifestation of divine revelation. The Indians believed that in a dream, one could connect with Brahman, the absolute reality from which the entire world arose. According to Vedic texts, a person in a dream could receive wisdom from the gods or comprehend their true nature. In some Indian practices of meditation and yoga, special methods of dream control were designed to approach spiritual enlightenment and know the higher truths of being while dreaming. Shamanic traditions around the world also assigned a central role to dreams. A shaman is a special person capable of controlling their dreams and entering a trance state to travel in spiritual worlds and communicate with nature spirits, animal guides, and the souls of ancestors. For shamans, sleep was an instrument of knowledge and healing. For example, Siberian shamans believed that in a dream, the soul leaves the body and travels to the upper or lower worlds to receive advice from spirits and restore lost energy. Similar beliefs existed among the Native American tribes of North America, where shamans used dreams to find answers to questions concerning the survival and destiny of the tribe. The ancient Chinese also deeply revered dreams. In China, it was believed that one could receive messages from ancestors in a dream, and therefore, dream interpretation was an important and responsible matter. The emperor's dreams were interpreted with particular care, as it was believed that through them, heaven informed the ruler how to behave and govern the country. The ancient Chinese treatise, the Duke of Zhou's interpretation of dreams, Zhou Gong Jiaming, described many symbols and their meanings used for dream interpretation. Thus, in antiquity, dreams did not just allow people to rest. They were a bridge connecting everyday life with the sacred, invisible world. Sleep was perceived as a real journey of the soul, in which it could gain knowledge, healing, warnings, or inspiration. It was a special, sacred form of knowing and interacting with a world that was inaccessible in ordinary wakefulness. And although today we view sleep more from a scientific perspective, trying to understand what happens to the brain during dreams, this ancient belief in the sacred power of dreams remains surprisingly alive and touches the hearts of even the most rational among us. Perhaps that is why, when falling asleep, we sometimes experience that very feeling of embarking on a journey to a place where there are no boundaries between the real and the fantastical world. Chapter 3: Dreams in World Religions. When night falls and people go to sleep, for many, it's not just a time of rest that opens up, but a special space for spiritual experience. In almost all world religions, dreams were given a deep and sacred meaning, considered a source of divine revelations and spiritual guidance. One of the oldest and most well-known traditions that pays significant attention to dreams is Judaism. In the Bible, dreams are often described as a channel of communication between God and people. Recall the story of Joseph, who became famous for his ability to interpret dreams. It was in a dream that symbolic images appeared to him, prophesying his future and the fate of entire nations. Jacob's dream, where a ladder appeared connecting earth and heaven, also became a symbol of divine connection and spiritual ascent. In Christianity, dreams also hold a special place. They are perceived as one of the paths of divine revelation and spiritual guidance. An example is the dream of Saint Joseph, in which an angel appeared to him, warning of the need to take the infant Jesus and Mary to Egypt, saving them from the persecution of King Herod. Many Christian mystics, monks, and saints perceived their dreams as spiritual experiences, receiving guidance, support, and inspiration from God in their sleep. Islam places enormous importance on dreams. In the Muslim tradition, it is believed that in sleep, a person is closest to Allah, and a dream can be a special form of revelation. The Prophet Muhammad himself received important messages through dreams. It is believed that true dreams, ruya, are a gift from God, in which people can receive instructions, warnings, and comfort. Muslims pay close attention to the interpretation of dreams, as it is believed that in sleep, signs and answers to important life questions can be revealed to the faithful. In Buddhism, dreams are perceived differently, but no less profoundly. Buddhists believe that sleep and wakefulness are equally illusory and are created by the mind. In Tibetan Buddhism, especially in the tradition of dream yoga, it is believed that the practice of lucid dreaming helps one approach spiritual awakening. In a dream, a person can observe how reality is formed by consciousness and thus learn to free themselves from illusions and attachments. The Buddha himself attained enlightenment after having an important dream in which he realized the nature of reality and the path to spiritual liberation. Hinduism also sees in dreams an opportunity for spiritual growth and revelation. In Hindu texts such as the Upanishads and the Mahabharata, dreams are described as states in which the soul can communicate with gods and sages, receiving knowledge and guidance. Sleep is perceived as one of the forms of manifestation of the Atman, the soul, temporarily freed from the limitations of the body and mind. Many Hindus believe that in a dream, the soul returns to its original nature and can know the absolute truth, which is inaccessible during wakefulness. Taoism, one of the ancient Chinese traditions, also gives dreams an important place, perceiving them as an opportunity for communication with spirits and ancestors. In dreams, Taoists sought answers to important questions, as well as methods for healing and achieving harmony with the world. In Taoist texts, there are instructions on how to use dreams for spiritual purification and the development of inner wisdom. Thus, in all these religions, sleep is not just rest. It is a path, a bridge, a channel of communication with higher powers and spiritual guides. For centuries, people have sought signs, advice, and confirmation of their spiritual path in dreams. Today, as you sink into sleep, you too are connecting with a centuries-old tradition of perceiving sleep as something more than just a physiological process. And even if modern science looks at dreams through the lens of neurobiology, the very fact that the human mind can create amazing pictures and experiences in sleep continues to inspire awe and respect in us. Perhaps tonight, as you fall asleep, you too will touch this amazing experience that has connected generations of people for thousands of years. May this night bring you peace, clarity, and perhaps the inspiration that comes precisely at such moments when we are open to the world of dreams. Chapter 4: Dreams in Philosophy and Psychology. When night covers the world with its velvet cloak and we plunge into dreams, a space opens up before us filled not only with images and plots, but also with deep philosophical and psychological meanings. Since ancient times, thinkers and scientists have tried to understand what a dream is, why it occurs, and what role it plays in a person's life. Ancient Greek philosophers paid much attention to the phenomenon of sleep. Plato believed that in a dream, the soul is freed from the shackles of the body and is able to travel in the world of ideas. For him, sleep was an important way of cognition, during which a person could approach absolute truth. Plato even suggested that it is in a dream that one can see what is inaccessible in ordinary life, the eternal ideas of goodness, beauty, and truth. Aristotle, on the other hand, treated dreams more rationally, considering them a reflection of real experiences and bodily states. In his opinion, dreams arise because the senses, active during the day, continue to affect the mind at night. Aristotle noted that dreams can help understand a person's internal state and even predict their future if interpreted correctly. Medieval philosophy also showed interest in dreams, albeit from a religious perspective. St. Augustine viewed sleep as a state in which God could communicate with a person, guiding and warning them of dangers. Thomas Aquinas emphasized that although many dreams are merely a product of the imagination, some of them may contain important spiritual messages. However, a real revolution in the understanding of dreams occurred in the late 19th and early 20th centuries with the emergence of psychoanalysis. Sigmund Freud argued that dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. He believed that hidden desires and repressed conflicts of a person manifest in dreams. According to Freud, our dreams are filled with symbols that can be deciphered to understand deep-seated motives and internal experiences. His famous book, The Interpretation of Dreams, became a seminal work that opened the door to the study of the human inner world. Carl Gustav Jung, Freud's student and later opponent, went even further. He believed that dreams not only reflect personal experiences but are also connected to the collective unconscious, common to all of humanity. According to Jung, archetypes, universal images and symbols such as the mother, the shadow, the hero, or the sage, manifest in dreams. These symbols help a person understand themselves, their life path, and their spiritual aspirations. Jung considered dreams an important tool for self-development and spiritual growth, recommending that patients pay special attention to them and even keep a dream journal. Modern psychology continues to study dreams using the latest scientific methods. Scientists are investigating how dreams help us process emotions, consolidate memories, and find creative solutions. For example, research shows that the brain actively processes information received during the day while we sleep, organizing it and linking it with existing knowledge. This helps a person better adapt to the surrounding world and effectively solve problems. Thus, from ancient times to the present day, philosophy and psychology have viewed dreams as a crucial phenomenon of human life. Dreams not only reflect experiences but also open doors to understanding the depths of our psyche and soul. A dream is a mysterious territory, by exploring which we come closer to ourselves, to understanding our internal conflicts and aspirations. Tonight, as you fall asleep, you will once again journey into this amazing world. Perhaps your dreams will help you understand something important about yourself, make a decision, or simply rest and recover. May your sleep be calm, deep, and filled with the wisdom that you already carry within you. Chapter 5: Dreams and Esotericism and New Age, A Path to Intuition and Subtle Worlds. The world of dreams has always beckoned people with its mystery. And within the framework of esoteric and New Age movements, it has become an important channel of communication with subtle planes, intuition, and spiritual entities. Here, dreams are perceived not as a biological process or a psychological phenomenon, but as a special form of soul travel and interaction with invisible forces. In New Age philosophy, a dream is a portal. Through it, a person can leave the physical body, enter the astral plane, and communicate with guides, angels, the souls of the deceased, or beings from other dimensions. This worldview combines elements of Eastern teachings, mysticism, psychology, and occultism. In it, the dream is not a secondary phenomenon but a form of spiritual practice. One popular concept is lucid dreaming as a training ground for astral projection. Many esoteric practitioners believe that by learning to be conscious in a dream, a person can gradually separate their consciousness from the body and move to other planes of reality. Special techniques are used for this: dream journals, pre-sleep affirmations, mantras, breathing practices, and so-called reality checks. Another important motif is dreams as a source of messages from the higher self or the universe. In such interpretations, dreaming becomes a way of receiving signs, advice, and warnings. The images that come in a dream are interpreted as symbols sent from the outside, clues in a difficult situation, warnings of danger, or support in a tough moment. Such dreams are often called prophetic. Some practices view sleep as access to past lives. Dreams in which a person finds themselves in an unusual body, time, or place are interpreted as memories of other incarnations. In the New Age approach, this serves not only curiosity but also a healing purpose, understanding and working through karmic knots, completing old stories, and reclaiming lost parts of the soul. The idea that one can communicate with spirit guides in a dream is common. These figures appear in the form of teachers, beings of light, power animals, or mythical figures. Their words, touches, and actions are interpreted as acts of transmitting energy, knowledge, or healing. Sometimes such dreams are perceived as initiations or transitions to a new stage of the spiritual path. It is important to understand that the esoteric approach does not seek to rationalize or prove what happens in a dream. Here, the emphasis is on personal experience, trust in intuition, and inner knowing. Dreaming becomes a sacred, intimate experience, where the main thing is not what does it mean, but what did I feel and experience. Critics point to the subjectivity and unverifiability of such practices, but for many people, they become a valuable source of self-support, inner strength, and inspiration. Regardless of how literally we take dreams as astral travel, their ability to awaken a sense of connection to something greater remains real and significant. Dreams in the New Age are an invitation. An invitation to look beyond the ordinary, to feel the mystery of being, to enter into a dialogue with the unconscious as with a spiritual ally. And if this path feels right for you, perhaps it is through dreaming that your inner awakening will begin. Chapter 6, Jung's Archetypes, the Symbolic Language of the Unconscious. In this chapter, we will explore how the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung, one of the founders of depth psychology, interprets the nature of dreams. His theory offers a unique perspective on the symbolism of dreams through the concepts of archetypes and the collective unconscious. According to Jung, dreams speak to us in the language of symbols. This language is older than words, its roots go deep into the structures of the psyche, which Jung called the collective unconscious. This is not personal memory, but the common heritage of humanity, consisting of universal images, archetypes. Archetypes are not specific characters, but unconscious patterns that shape a person's perception and behavior. In dreams, they manifest as figures, landscapes, actions, or moods: a stranger, a shadow, a wise old man, a staircase, a river, a child, a circle, an animal. These symbols carry multi-layered meanings and are connected to the key stages and conflicts of personality development. One of the central archetypes in the Jungian system is the shadow. This is the part of the personality that we repress or deny, instincts, fears, and desires that do not fit into our conscious self-image. In a dream, the shadow often appears as a frightening person, a pursuer, or something unknown. To meet the shadow in a dream is to meet the self that we do not normally see. This is an important step towards wholeness. The anima and animus are the archetypes of the feminine and masculine principles within each person. The anima manifests in a dream as a woman, sensual, wise, mysterious. The animus appears as a man, strong, rational, leading. These images symbolize the path to inner balance between logic and intuition, reason and feelings. The archetype of the self is the core of the personality, a symbol of wholeness and the inner center. It can manifest as a luminous object, a mandala, a tree, a child, or some transcendent being. Dreams of the self are often accompanied by a feeling of peace, completeness, and profound meaning. Jung emphasized that archetypes are universal, but their manifestations are always individual. The same symbol, for example, water, might mean fear for one person, purification for another, and the beginning of a new life for a third. Therefore, it's less important to search for universal interpretations than to feel how an image resonates with your personal story. Working with archetypes in dreams is a path of self-discovery. A dream journal, where you record images, emotions, and associations, is particularly effective here. You can also use the method of active imagination, a mental continuation of the dream in which you enter into a dialogue with archetypal figures, observing how they react and what they are trying to communicate. Archetypal dreams often remain in memory for a long time. They can be vivid, symbolic, and in some ways sacred. Such dreams appear at moments of transition, inner growth, crisis, or insight. Jung called them great dreams because they help us connect with the deep truth about ourselves. In Jungian theory, a dream is not a random play of the mind. It is an act of myth-making that occurs within us every night. It is the unconscious's way of guiding us along the path of individuation, the gradual becoming of a whole personality. May your dreams be not only a reflection of feelings but also a journey through your inner myth. Because each of us is the hero of our own path, and a dream is the map of this path, full of symbols, signs, and encounters that lead to your true self. Chapter 7: Modern Scientific Theories of Sleep. Every night, when we close our eyes, our body and brain enter an amazing and complex process that science has been studying for decades. Modern sleep research offers a deep understanding of why we need sleep, what happens in the brain during this time, and why dreams play such an important role in our lives. One of the main discoveries of recent decades is the understanding of the phases of sleep. Scientists distinguish two main stages: non-rapid eye movement, NREM, sleep, and rapid eye movement, REM, sleep. Each of these phases has its own characteristics and performs its own tasks. NREM sleep, also called deep sleep, takes up most of the night. During this time, breathing slows, the heartbeat decreases, and the brain enters a recovery mode. It is in the deep sleep phase that the body's physical restoration occurs. Muscles relax, tissues regenerate, and the immune system is strengthened. At this stage, the brain organizes and cleanses memory, consolidating important information and deleting the unnecessary. Recent studies have shown that it is during deep sleep that the brain is cleansed of toxins and waste products accumulated during the day, which is critically important for maintaining mental clarity and the health of the nervous system. The REM sleep phase, also known as paradoxical sleep, is the period when a person most often has vivid and emotionally rich dreams. In this stage, brain activity is similar to the state of wakefulness, although the body is completely relaxed and practically paralyzed. That is why the REM phase is important for emotional health. During this time, the brain processes the emotional experiences of the day, reducing stress and restoring mental balance. Recent studies have also shown that the REM phase helps to form creative solutions and promotes creativity, allowing the brain to freely combine and rearrange ideas and memories. Several scientific theories explain the necessity of sleep and its functions. One of the leading ones is the memory consolidation theory. According to it, during sleep, the brain actively processes information, consolidating memories and skills acquired during the day. For example, if you are learning a new language or how to play a musical instrument, it is sleep that allows you to effectively retain the knowledge gained. Another important theory is emotional processing. It states that in sleep, the brain re-experiences the day's events, but in a safe context. This allows for a reduction in emotional load and helps to cope with experiences, reducing levels of stress and anxiety. Scientific research confirms that after a good night's sleep, emotional events are perceived as less painful and more calmly. Also interesting is the theory of brain cleansing, the so-called glymphatic theory. According to it, during sleep, the brain is literally washed with a special fluid, cleansing itself of toxic substances and metabolic waste accumulated during the day. Disruptions to this process can lead to a decline in cognitive abilities and an increased risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases. Modern science also studies why people dream and what their role is. One of the most common hypotheses states that dreams help the brain adapt to life changes by simulating potential scenarios and situations. Through dreams, the brain trains our perceptions, preparing us for new challenges and decisions. Thus, scientific research in recent years reveals to us an incredibly complex and amazing mechanism of sleep, which is important not only for physical health but also for emotional stability, memory, creativity, and even the overall quality of life. Today, science confidently tells us that sleep is not just rest, but a vitally necessary process, without which the full functioning of the body and brain is impossible. And may your sleep tonight be deep and calm, allowing your brain to recover and prepare for a new day, full of new discoveries and opportunities. Chapter 8: Lucid Dreams and Their Phenomenon. Imagine that you are falling asleep, but you maintain clarity of consciousness and suddenly realize, I am asleep and am now inside a dream. This amazing state is called a lucid dream, and it has long attracted the attention not only of mystics and philosophers but also of modern science. A lucid dream is a state in which a person, while asleep, remains aware that they are sleeping and can control what happens in their dream. Many people who have experienced this state describe it as one of the most exciting and amazing experiences of their lives. After all, in a lucid dream, a person gains almost limitless possibilities. They can fly, travel to any place, meet people who are no longer around, or even change the course of events within the dream itself. The history of lucid dreaming goes back thousands of years. Ancient Tibetan practices of dream yoga included special techniques for achieving awareness in sleep, as it was believed that this state allows one to approach spiritual enlightenment and understand the illusory nature of reality. In Indian traditions, lucid dreams were also perceived as a path of spiritual development, helping to comprehend the deep essence of consciousness. In Western culture, lucid dreams received widespread attention in the 20th century, especially thanks to the research of psychologist Stephen LaBerge. LaBerge scientifically proved the possibility of awareness in sleep by conducting experiments in which participants gave signals with their eyes directly from a state of sleep. This research confirmed that lucid dreams are not fiction but a real state, accessible to almost everyone. Scientific studies show that lucid dreams most often occur during the REM sleep phase, when brain activity is at its peak and the body is completely relaxed. Scientists note that in a state of lucid dreaming, the areas of the brain responsible for self-awareness and decision-making are activated, which allows a person to be aware of their state and influence the content of the dream. In addition to exciting possibilities and adventures, lucid dreams have practical benefits. For example, many people use them to overcome nightmares and fears. By realizing in a dream that it is just a dream, a person can change a frightening scenario to a more positive one, which helps to reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality. Lucid dreams are also actively used to develop creative abilities and solve complex problems. In a dream, a person can play out various scenarios and look for unconventional solutions, using the flexibility and openness of their consciousness. Some famous artists and scientists have admitted that it was in lucid dreams that they received inspiration and found answers to difficult questions. However, it is important to understand that the practice of lucid dreaming requires caution and moderation. Excessive fascination with lucidity in sleep can lead to disruptions in the quality of rest, as the brain continues to work actively instead of fully resting. Therefore, experts recommend approaching lucid dreams with a reasonable balance, using them as an interesting and useful tool, not a goal in itself. If you want to try lucid dreaming, there are several simple techniques you can use before falling asleep. One of the most popular is the reality check technique. During the day, you periodically ask yourself the question, "Am I dreaming right now?" and check the surrounding reality. Over time, this habit will carry over into your dreams, helping you to wake up inside the dream. And may your journey into the world of dreams tonight bring not only peace and rest but perhaps also the first steps into the amazing space of lucid dreams, where you will become not just a spectator, but the creator of your own night world. Chapter 9: Dreams and Creativity. Dreams are not only a reflection of our inner life but also an inexhaustible source of inspiration. Throughout human history, dreams have become the basis for numerous works of art, scientific discoveries, and philosophical reflections. By sinking into sleep, a person can suddenly touch upon what seems inaccessible in a waking state, unexpected ideas, images, associations, and insights. One of the most famous examples of dreams influencing science is the case of Dmitri Mendeleev. According to legend, the periodic table of chemical elements appeared to him in a dream. The scientist had long pondered the ordering of the elements, and it was in a state of sleep that his mind put everything together. Upon waking, he immediately wrote down what he had seen, and the result turned out to be genius. Although this case is still debated in terms of historical accuracy, it remains a symbol of the power of the unconscious mind. In the field of music, dreams have also played a significant role. Paul McCartney once said that the melody for the song Yesterday came to him in a dream. Waking up, he hurried to play it on the piano, afraid of forgetting it. At first, he didn't even believe the melody was his own, it seemed so complete. Thus, one of the most famous songs of the 20th century was born directly from a dream. In painting and visual arts, dreams are a whole world of inspiration. Surrealist artists like Salvador Dali actively use dreams in their work. Dali practiced a technique of being in a borderline state between sleep and wakefulness, which he called slumber with a key, in which he would allow himself to doze off with an object in his hand, so that he would be awakened the moment he dropped it. At that moment, he would grasp the images and ideas that came from his subconscious and transfer them to the canvas. Franz Kafka, one of the most enigmatic writers of the 20th century, drew inspiration from dreams and half-asleep states. His works are full of irrational, dreamlike plots where absurdity and psychological depth intertwine. He said that it was in dreams that the most important but hidden meanings came to the surface. Dreams also form the basis of many literary works. Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, claimed that the idea for her novel came to her in a dream. The same can be said of Robert Louis Stevenson and his strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Their images were inspired by experiences seen in nocturnal reveries and later took form on the pages of books. From the perspective of the psychology of creativity, dreams represent a unique state in which the mind is free from its usual constraints. In ordinary life, logic, rules, and social norms limit our ideas. In a dream, however, these limitations disappear. The brain connects seemingly unrelated elements, creates new meanings, and violates physical laws and timelines. This is the ideal environment for the emergence of new ideas. Modern creativity researchers note that dreams can act as an incubator for creative solutions. Often, ideas that a person contemplates during the day mature at night. After sleep, especially after the REM phase, a person may wake up with an unexpected answer or a new perspective on a problem. Some techniques, like keeping a dream journal, help to consciously use dreams for creativity. If you are a creative person or simply looking for inspiration, try to pay attention to what comes to you in your sleep. Perhaps among the images, plots, and phrases flickering in the silence of the night, there are hidden clues, ideas, and discoveries waiting for you to hear them. And now, as you are relaxed and ready for sleep, just allow yourself to dream. Do not strive to understand or control, simply observe. Maybe tonight your mind will gift you something unusual. An image you'll want to draw, a melody you'll want to hum, or an idea that will change your day. Chapter 10: Dreams in Different Cultures. While some people see dreams as a random play of the mind, other cultures have for centuries perceived them as a profoundly significant spiritual phenomenon. Every civilization, every tribe, and every people has viewed dreams through the prism of their mythology, worldview, and beliefs. And in all corners of the planet, dreams were perceived not just as internal experiences, but as real journeys of the soul, encounters with spirits, and signs of fate. In the cultures of the indigenous peoples of North America, dreams played a special role. For many Native American tribes, sleep was inseparable from spiritual life. Dreams could be guidance from spirits, warnings of danger, or symbolic messages from ancestors. Some tribes practice vision quests, periods of solitude and fasting during which a young person sought their destiny through dreams. Dreams received during initiations were particularly important. They were considered prophetic and determined a person's life path. Australian Aboriginals have the concept of the dream time. This is not just the dreams a person sees at night, but a sacred dimension in which the world was born, where mythical ancestors act, and the laws of life are established. A person can enter the dream time through sleep, meditation, or special rituals. Aboriginals believe that in a dream, a person touches the origins of all that exists and can receive strength, knowledge, and spiritual support. In African cultures, dreams are often seen as messages from ancestors and spirits. Among the Dogon people of Mali, for example, it is believed that in a dream, a person receives knowledge from the stars and the cosmos. They believe that some people, the dreamers, are able to travel to other worlds and bring back wisdom for the entire tribe. In other parts of the continent, dreams help to identify the causes of illnesses or determine what actions need to be taken in a difficult situation. They are like a mirror in which not only the person is visible, but the entire community, its connections, and its energy. In Japan, dreams were long perceived as prophecies. During the Heian period, aristocrats recorded their dreams in diaries, giving them serious importance. It was believed that dreams could predict both favorable and dangerous events. The first dreams of the year, Hatsuyum, were considered particularly important. There were special rituals to attract good dreams on New Year's Eve. For example, an image of a treasure ship, the takurabun, a symbol of prosperity and luck, was placed under the pillow. In China, the culture of dreams is rooted in antiquity. Here, as in India, dreams were often associated with the influence of spirits, ancestors, or changes in the flow of qi energy.